Hello everyone, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. It's a Monday. We are here, we are live, we are kicking. We are good to go. Zangerous kicking off with 5 gifted Warhipster memberships. Incredible. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you very, very much. That puts us that makes some progress. Wait, yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hello. It is Monday. We are live. I hope you all survived a tale of many Warhipsters last night. It was a long one. They always are. They are the best though. We do love doing them. I was brainstorming today. Ways to make it so it's kind of like a permanent fixture. Happens all the time, but in a slightly different format. But anyway, that is not for now, you see. Today we are going to be doing some more building because it's very hot, so painting's quite difficult. I have to wait until later in the evening to do that. Generally in the night where it's cold. So we're going to be building some Knights of Dol Amroth, who are amongst my favourite miniatures from MESBG, especially when they first came out. And I've only ever seen them in metal. I've never seen these plastic ones before. I didn't even know that they were plastic until very recently. Hi there, gang. Won't have long to stay here, but just wanted to say good job on both zombie dragons. Thank you very much, Sly Guy 77. I'm guessing you'd like to see a zombie dragon video first. I'm guessing a lot of people out there would like to see Prince Vordry. As the first one, rather than the Revenant Draconith, but we'll find out. I guess we'll put both the videos out and see what happens. Not at the same time. That would be insane. That would be you'd be setting fire to any chance that those videos had of being successful. Good afternoon. I shall speak to you all. Tattoo Zoologist, Colonel of the 149th Death Cora Creek, Yamail Angmar, Mark Watson, Maureen W, Ricky Drinks Paints, Simon74, Cal Erber, Jungle Camper, Zangerous, of course, Thomas, Swennels, Carnate, Sly Guy 77, Robson Ask, says, yo bro, made 4 months painting break back yesterday. So hard to paint a Hellbrute Black Legion without your tutorial. I'm sure you've managed it though. Vicious Goose is here. Hello Vicious Goose. Hello Norn brother. Those were some beautiful painted dragons, Mr. the Warhipster, but always expected from you, good sir. Oh, thank you. Someday I'll do something where you guys will all go, I don't think that's your best work, Josh. I think you could do better. I think you should be ashamed of yourself. And I will be very, 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 very sad. But I'll understand. You know. Feedback's good for everyone, I guess. Especially egotistical individuals like myself. Matthew just got back into painting after 4 months off. Awesome. I hope not. The Revenant Draconith vid is amazing, because then I will have to buy a second Prince Vordry, and that will be your fault. That's fair. That is fair. That's fair. I think going forward, I was talking to Games Workshop the other day, and I said, going forward, whenever you have a dual kit like this, please can you send me both? And they went, well no, because we only have limited ones to send to content creators. But maybe. What are you going to do for us? And I was like, make more content. Make tons of content. Paint it all the time. Every time. Rangers of Arnor, to be precise. Oh, I like to hear that, Matt. Matt or Matthew? Which one do you prefer? Here they are. Here are the Knights of Dol Amroth. You get 6 in a box, I want to say. I think it's the same sprue twice. So it's not really worth a sprue review. Oh, no, it's not the same sprue twice. Oh, wow. Well, there you go. These 2 unique sprues of Knights of Dol Amroth. Side by side, there you go. Big old banner there. Which is cool. We like to see that. Fully agree, Thomas. Debating if I should buy 1 or 2 myself. I think, honestly, like, if you've seen the sprue review, you'll see how good the kit is. Buy 1, see if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't buy another. But you probably could magnetize Vordry to the to the dragon in some way, shape, or form. I wouldn't know how, so don't ask me. But I'm sure you could, because you guys are better at this than I am. So you know. But yeah, so this is what we're gonna be. This is what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna get these guys built. Knights of Dol Amroth. Like I said, I have some metal ones of these somewhere. I think I still have the ones on foot as well. But I'm very, very excited for Prince Imrahil to make a triumphant return, which should be great. So, the big question, as always, with these kits is, because they don't give you any instructions, is how you actually put them together. Which is fun. I've got a feeling you kind of just mashed them together. So I guess we'll just get on with it. Where's my clippers? There they are. In fact, I should pull up a picture as well. Because Games Workshop. Dol Amroth. I always spell it Dol Amroth, which is silly. You shouldn't do that. How would you paint up a Terrorgeist? That's a good question. Terrorgeist. Page not found. Good. Royal Terrorgeist. There we go. How would I paint this Terrorgeist? Which one's the Terrorgeist and which one's the zombie dragon is the question. Is the one with its foot up on a rock a Terrorgeist, or is that a zombie dragon? The short answer is I would use Batface as the Terrorgeist. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Which version? Because there's 2 I'm seeing here. One with grey and one with dark red. But mostly Skeleton Horde for all the bones. Probably use some sort of Fire Slayer flesh / Gilliman flesh motif for the skin. I would do the guts in the same way that I've done the Revenant Draconeth. And then for the wing membranes on the dark red one, we would probably go for somewhere in the region of using Flesh Terrors red over the top of them, and then thinned down Cygor brown over the top, and then give it a gentle dry brush of a red of your choice. As for the grey one, we would probably do... it looks to me to be somewhere like in the region of Gryph-Charger Grey and Space Wolves Grey. So probably something in one of those orders. Maybe Space Wolves, then Gryph-Charger, or Gryph-Charger, then Space Wolves. Something like that. Just to get that nice bluish grey. And then do some sort of rust grey dry brush over the top of it. Or just go fully ham into the Black Templar and just thin it down a little bit. So there we go. Will you make a sprue review for the Knights? If they send me a Knights box, I will think about how to make a sprue review. I'm not entirely sure how I would make that sprue review because I don't know what the box looks like. Basically, I don't know what's in it. As far as I can tell, the only new information that would be in that box would be a new sprue. So it would be a review of the new sprue, basically, and that would be kind of it. So I don't know how valuable that is as a video. which would be my kind of that's kind of my opinion on it. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's worth that kind of time investment to do that. Because sprue reviews take a little while to put together. On account of them being just long videos, basically. So, yeah, I don't know. And also, I don't know kind of like how valuable a single sprue as a video on its own is. Because it's not reviewing the whole kit, because the whole kit is old. Plus a upgrade sprue, basically. So it'd be like, it'd be kind of like sprue reviewing the new Blood Angels upgrade kit. It's kind of like, here it is, that's what it looks like. Have fun. As it were. Good evening, Chris. Hello, GameX. Hello, Will. How you doing? I'll endeavour to try and paint them if they send them. And if they don't send them, I shan't. I did order a Canis Rex, though, as chat asked for. So, if they don't send me the new one, I'll do Canis Rex. Painting fiefdoms, are we, Mr. the Warhipster? Yes. Well, so we're gonna get the Knights of Dol Amroth done, because we're gonna do that as the same time as, because I've been talking about this a little bit recently. I have done a couple of MESBG videos now where they have been really bad videos, basically. And I don't mean that in the sense that I made a bad video. I mean that they're just not a popular video because not many people have purchased the model, for example, and therefore are not looking up how to paint it. So something like Frecker or Lord Hammerhand, Helm Hammerhand, Wraith of the Hornburg and stuff like that. And I think it's because those videos are specifically painting one specific model. So I think in the example of, say, the new Prince Imrahil, if they send me the new Prince Imrahil, doing Contrast Plus how to paint Prince Imrahil, I don't think makes that video particularly productive. But how to paint Prince Imrahil and the Knights of Dol Amroth in one video, I think makes it just a bit more of a compelling video. It's a lot more work for me, but I think it just makes those videos appear more in the algorithm. Because the issue with something like, especially something like Frecker, is you put Contrast Plus how to paint Frecker out, and then because the video does really badly, a bunch of people who actually want to see the video don't know it exists. So then you end up answering a lot of questions along the lines of, will you do a contrast video on how to paint Frecker? It's like, I've already done it. It's there. So yeah, it's just trying to make MESBG content a little bit more engaging, which does require a lot more work than just painting up a single character. But that's okay, because it's MESBG and we love MESBG. I think that exposed muscle on the Terrorgeists would be Flesh Terror's Red with maybe Null Oil. I would avoid using Null Oil because Null Oil will make it too dark. You want to go for something that accentuates the tone of red. So Caraberg Crimson or Druchii Violet or Berserker Bloodshade is a better shout there. Null Oil puts the wrong tone into the model. Happy fun times for plastic MESBG. Yeah, exactly. Hello. Hello, Mr. Captain Manrings. Sorry, Mr. Manrings or Captain Manrings? Should address you by your true rank. Excited for Woodies. I think the easiest way for me to answer your question, Sly Guy, is for me to release Contrast Plus How to Paint the Revenant Draconith, and then you can take a bunch of techniques from that and put them onto the Terraghost. Because that will answer, I think, most of your questions. And yes, to answer your question, I am quite excited for the Wood Elves. I will try and purchase some on Saturday. There's a couple of characters I definitely want, and I'm really excited to do them. There's my glue. Let's just go to the face cam, rather than you just staring at some sprues. I don't know if I'm going to buy the whole battalion. It's a lot of money, and it's a lot of plastic to just kind of have sculling about the house that I don't have. I don't have the time to go and do, so... but I will try and pick up some Wood Elves. Will you get Orion? I don't know as I will. They're kind of more of a... If I'm going to do them, they're going to be for me. And all I really wants to do is some Glade Guard and a Way Watcher and stuff like that. Selfishly not film it. There's a horse. Mr. Hipster, opinions on the Horus Hearsay thing that GW released. Okay, I think that could be one of two things. Either they're trolling, and it's not Horus Heresy is going to be a big release this summer, or there is going to be a big Horus Heresy release this summer, and fine, I guess. I don't really see how they make a compelling box out of what remains to be plasticated in Horus Heresy. I don't see how they do that, but I'm more than happy to be wrong. If it's like all breaches and boarding action stuff, all that would be cool. Rumors are that Horus Heresy is going to be wrecked. Yeah, they say that every time a Horus Heresy release is going to be done. Like, they're going to change it all, it's going to be awful. And it it rarely is. I think it'll be fine. So I keep seeing people saying it's going to be filled with like Saturnine Terminators and stuff, and it's like, yeah, but that was a defunct armor mark by the time of the Horus Heresy, so doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me for it to be in there. And if it's just a box full of more Mark IV Space Marines, but this time with like breaching shields and stuff, is that really a cool box? Because they only ever really do these boxes when they're launching a bunch of new product. There's occasionally some old product in there, but like, you know, like a Contemptor Dreadnought or something. But I just don't see what goes into that box to make it good, make it good and new and exciting. But that's a good thing. I shouldn't be able to predict it. The biggest question is how do I make content out of it? Because I have no idea how I would make content out of it. Because with the greatest respect to you guys in the world, I don't want to do Contrast Plus How to Paint Blood Angels Breaches. Do you see what I mean? And I don't want to do one for all of the legions, because we've already done one for all of the legions, and the recipe doesn't change. It's just the same recipe again. So I'd be making the same 18 videos again. And I don't see how that's value add. Yeah, I did it last time Horus Heresy came out. So the only other real kind of content that is to be made out of that box, if indeed there is a big Horus Heresy box on the way, is how to paint the Horus Heresy box in 24 hours or less, or some sort of challenge video or something like that. You love those Space Marines. I do love Space Marines. I very much enjoy painting Space Marines. But I don't know how I make valuable content out of it, you see. And if I can't make valuable content out of something, I'm just flat not going to do it. New demons. See, that's different, because they're new demons. And there's a bunch of alternate demon paint schemes I haven't done. Whereas for the Horus Heresy, there's 18 schemes. And that's kind of your lot. Can you do a tutorial for Bard's family? Yeah, one day. I do have to do it. You have to do it. No, I do have to do it because chat made me do it. Look, MESBG fans, there is going to be a huge raft of MESBG content coming for you. It's just none of it's happening very fast, and I understand it's frustrating, but I'm doing it in between other things at the moment. I'll blow your socks off with MESBG content very soon, I'm sure. Frustrating thing for MESBG fans is GW's release schedule. Yeah, 100%. Like, I completely empathise. But one thing that Games Workshop and I have in common is, as much as I would love to just sit and make nothing but MESBG videos, if I do that, I will tank my channel, therefore my income, therefore I will have to go and get a job, which means therefore no more content. So there's a degree of I have to be conscious of what's good for the channel as well, at the same time as doing the things I want to do. I'm so hoping for the Marine Blade tanks. I want them big boys. Can't you just use a Bane Blade and stick some Space Marine crew in it? That's what they used to be, wasn't it? I don't know if those are ever going to come back. All their new releases generally sell out, but the market is nothing compared to AOS and 40k. Yeah, exactly. Wasn't always like that, but that is how it is now. You son of a... This is not 24 hours since the last stream, so YouTube won't let me send you money. This is how... Now a crime. I didn't know that they limited you in that way. Where is my Hera? I know you have her and just won't let GW release her. It's not my fault, okay? I want you to have Hera. Gotta go. See you later, Josh. See you later, Sly Guy. How long ago was the Hera on horse shown off? Warning, this is a name. End warning. Does know how long ago that was. I don't remember, though. 6 months ago? Lincho says, start painting Old World and MESBG as well and just don't sleep ever again. Easy. That's true. That is true. They have promised a year of tanks. I'm going to hold them to it. They have released a lot of tanks, but it's not been a year of tanks. I have built 2 horses. If I just clip off all the horse bits, will there be 6 horses? I don't know as if there will. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yes there will. I'm just going to clip off all the horse bits. Lick that like button to give Josh some lovin'. That's true. You should all hit the like button. You know. We're not going to get to 100,000 subscribers at this rate. Engagement in the channel has gone down. The new subscribers rate has descended. Because I stopped doing daily content. That's why. And you know, maybe we just do need to do some daily content for a couple of weeks to see if it goes back up. Which we will have to do, to be fair, because there are 6 Soulblight Gravelords videos that are ready to go. We have Blades of the Hollow King. We have Manifestations. We have the Revenant Draconith. We have Kado Ezekiar. No, that's Blade of the Hollow King. We have Vordry, Lord of the Crimson Keep. We have the Vampire Lord on Nightmare Steed. And I think that's it for now. I did want to get some Blood Knights done, but I've run out of time, so I'm gonna have to do them. I'm gonna have to do them a little later because I've got a lot of content to get on with over the next couple of weeks. So that's fun. Never seen you exhale a vape. You're like Mike Nolan from the Big Les Show. Yeah, that's me. Good evening, Demogorgon. They have released 2 tanks for 30k so far this year. Ah, but what about Legions Imperialis? Was it Grey Primer you used for Soulblight? Yep. What are you making today? I am building the Knights of Dol Amroth. Also, hello, James. So we've built 2 whole horses. 2 whole horses. Here's one. And here is another. And I've just clipped off all of these horse bits. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4 left to go. And these are the 4 other halves of the bodies. Will you ever paint the War Mumak? Yes, I will, Finian Evans. I have a Mumak. I have it in a box, in a box. I'm looking forward to Cathay, the Dragon Lady, Big Balloon, and Stone Warriors. Lovely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. That is something that I will 100% be there for. And I really hope Games Workshop has some of those to send out. Because I would love to kind of hit the ground running with Cathay. It's exactly the type of old world release that I've been looking forward to. Just a brand new range of all plastic miniatures. Thanks for the like and the nice comment underneath the post. I hope I win Best Painter with my Stormcast Spearhead. I hope you do too, Godshady. Good luck. MESBG, all horses all the times. I know, right? A box of 6 horses counts as 12 models in my painting estimates. They don't sell the dismounted Dol Amroth Knights at the moment. No, they don't. They are they're a Forge World thing as well, which is annoying. They didn't used to be. There used to be a metal version of them. I would assume that they'll come back whenever Prince Imrahil arrives. Maybe plastic Dol Amroth Knights are coming. Inhales copium. That would be nice, wouldn't it? There we go. It's another horse bottom. Dol Amroth Battle Host box. Come on, guys. Don't get yourselves too excited. It's taken 6 months for Hera to come out. Thank you so much for the nice words from the stream yesterday. I'm Hobby ADHD from Discord, and I'm the one that painted the Night Lancer. Oh, thanks, Kev. Thanks for letting us know whom you are. Congratulations on a beautiful Night Lancer. And you're very welcome. It's a privilege to be able to see that. For you to share that with us, I should say. It is also a privilege to be able to see it, you know, having working eyes and all that. Did I tell you guys that my eyes got better, apparently? According to the optician. So for those of you who are significantly blind, you know, you have very blurry vision, it might be that what you need to do is spend 5 years full-time on a YouTube channel. To improve your eyesight. You know, this is not medical advice. Or was it just that your old glasses were just old, Josh? I mean, they were 4-year-old glasses. But no, they said my eyesight had improved. And that my prescription didn't need to be as heavy as it was. And they're like, that should help with the headaches. And I was like, okay, cool. Came home, immediately had a headache. I was like, well, this has made the headaches worse. But it seems to have corrected itself a little bit now. A couple of nights, I think the night after, so 2 nights later, after getting the glasses done, I was playing some Space Marine 2, and I couldn't read anything on it, and I was like, hang on, I think they've seriously miscalculated what my eyesight is here. But no, it's been absolutely fine. Just getting used to it. A slightly weaker prescription. Did you know that there are currently 54 people watching the stream and only 30 likes on the stream? Which means there are 24 people here who don't like me. You just came in. Hello, old gamer. Proof I like you now. That's what I need. I am needy. Hello, old gamer. Good strat though. Thanks. You know, us wily YouTubers, we have to come up with any way to emotionally manipulate you into helping us maintain our lifestyle. Because if you don't, we don't get to. That's the thing. That's the that's the secret. That's not a secret. What are you building? I am building the Knights of Dol Amroth for MESBG. I'm currently building their horses. We've got two more horse bits, and then we can build a rider. Is anyone present actually excited for Knights? I haven't seen much in the way of like people just being super excited about them. Knights and Chaos Knights, I should say. Not the Knights of Dol Amroth. You play Chaos Knights. Awesome. I need to still build my Canis Rex. I need to do mine as well. That was a no-name one. That was a Warning. Warning gave us the money for that one. I did buy it. It's here. Looking forward to the Wet Elves release more. I understand that. Age of Sigmar is dead cool. Age of Sigmar is the better game. Scourge of Gyron stuff's all happening at the moment. That looks really, really fun. Really encourage you guys to go and have a look. I think it's going to breathe a little bit more life into the game. It definitely makes me excited to see what's going to happen in the General's Handbook. Which I know they've started to talk about, haven't they, on Warcom. That's always an exciting thing. Cool. One more. My brain keeps snapping back to Space Wolves. It's like I'm not allowed to think of anything else. I see. Space Wolves is going to be a fun release, I think. Whenever that happens. For my 2 cents on it, I'm much more excited for the second wave, which they announced. You know, the one with Arjak, Njal, and Logan Grimnar and the Terminators in it. I'm excited for that one more than I am the other box. But only because I think there's more painting opportunity for the second wave than there is for the first wave. And, you know, I'm a painter first. Pokemon, baby, gotta have them all. Oh, I know what you mean. I'm a fiend for collecting Space Marine named characters. I do enjoy it. The funny thing is I did the majority of the... I mean, I did all of them when... You remember when the supplements came out, so... Shrike, Ironfather, Fyros, Torgaradon, all of that lot. I did all of them before I took the YouTube channel particularly seriously. So I did Mephiston, and then I didn't do any of the other ones. So I have a pile of these painted characters that I'm like, oh, I've done it once before. And I just think, like, I should go and do them again, but actually film them this time. But I just haven't gone and done it. That one makes sense. Let's go with... That kind of makes sense to me. We'll do... that. Maybe... do that. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try doing some long legs with some short legs. Let's do that. Yeah. That kind of works. Does it? Yeah, I guess it does. That'll do. Alright. Which ones are the glued ones? That one and that one. Alright. Cool. Let's get some glue on these. Hello, Edward. Hello, Mr. Quatkin. This is my first edition of 40k. Started with Tyranids, but now want Death Guard and Space Wolves. Have resisted, but close to breaking. I think if you're going to break for one of them, break for Space Wolves, because you get a cool army set. And you get a lot more characterful energy from that box than you do from... That's, you know, I recognise I just said I wasn't... I'm more excited for the character wave, but I think you just get a lot more fun out of that. Whereas the battle force for the Death Guard doesn't contain the codex or anything like that. It's just a battle force of models, so the codex in that is all separate. Boom. Another horse. Hello, Abdul. That's also another really funny box for me for making content. Like, painting Blood Claws and the other one. It's kind of like, what's the point? Really want to do a Space Wolves combat patrol and the characters, but not really interested in the army as a whole. Yeah, so I know what you mean. I did the combat patrol a long time ago. And I did the gladiator tank for it as well. And I did Ragnar. So I have the beginnings of a Space Wolf army. And I was going to do more of them. And then we went to Warhammer Fest. And... we played in the 40k tournament there, Alice and I, and she said she wanted to do Space Wars, so I gave Al my my Wolfguard Terminators that I'd bought for the army and stuff. Grey Hunters, thank you. Like, Head Takers, I get. They're brand new. That's going to be quite a fun video to do. It's also, you know, power armored guys and wolves as well in single unit, which is really cool. And I think the Rune Priest or Wolf Priest, whatever the hell he's called, that'll be a fun video to make as well. And maybe the Battle Leader. I mean, heck, if they send us a box, then I'll do a whole sprue review of it. Of course I will. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. That'll do. Alright, 6 horses, all done. So now comes the fun doing the characters. Where we don't have... any instructions or guides on how to do that. Interestingly, this does come with the ways to make one with a musical instrument and one with a banner as well. So that's cool. Let's just start with one on this side. One. It is so up. It is so hot up here, guys. How old are these sculpts? Did you finish the elves? No, I haven't finished the elves yet. These ones come from 2009 is when the plastic ones for these came out. I was saying earlier, I don't know if you heard me warning. I'm currently having to do the MESBG stuff in between other stuff at the moment. Because my schedule is all over the place. But it will mean that eventually it'll come to a head where there will be there'll be like a whole week of loads of MESBG content on the way. It's kind of where I'm aiming to get to. Drown you in it. But how many months away is that? No, it won't be months. It will be like a fortnight at best. If I can be super productive, I might even try and get my War Mumak done. That's like that is a above and beyond thing to do. But at the moment, it's not outside the realms of possibility. But we'll have to, again, I have to see what's going on. Get your what done? The Mumakil. A War Mumak of Harad. You are extremely productive. I'm trying to be. Are you excited for Cathay? I am. I hope one day we will see blood dragons on foot. As in blood knights from the Soul Black Gravelords? You're working on your Thorin's company at the moment. That's exciting. And a video about Smaug. Just listing MESBG stuff I have sitting around. Oh, I'll tell you one thing I found. You'll like this. It is MESBG. I found some proper classic miniatures. Here you go. So yeah. Arathorn and Grey Company, right? Yes. I always really liked the old Rangers of the North models, the metal ones. They were amongst a favourite of mine. I always liked the old what are they called? Just the old sort of Rangers of Gondor, Rangers of Ithilien, the metal ones. It's not to say I don't like the plastic ones now. I just really liked the old metal ones. I might plunder one of my old boxes and strip one of the many Aragorn King LSR on horses that I've got. I've got at least 2, I'm pretty certain. Because I bought one, and then I got one with the magazine. Do you have a recipe for painting metallic red that I can use on a Soulblight Vampire's red armor? I've got one coming up in the Prince Vordry video for you, Abdul. Let me just see. Yeah, it does just go on the arm. One down. Are these prep for Imrahil? Yeah. Yeah, so whenever the Imrahil video comes out, I want to do these and Imrahil at the same time. So it'll just be Contrast plus how to paint the Knights of Dol Amroth, Prince Imrahil and the Knights of Dol Amroth in one video. Good evening, Fake Street Spirit. I know you have him. I don't. I don't. If I did, I would play much more coy, but I don't. Come on, you know the drill. Are you doing video for the Revenant Draconith too, or just Vordry? I'm doing video for both. So a year from now. No. Whenever it happens. I have to somehow stop myself from buying Imrahil when he comes out. Or... legit yelling like a madman in my office. Oh. Hobbyist yells at cloud. Thank you for the shout out for my Rock My Boys. It really meant a lot. Oh, you're very welcome, Fake Street Spirit. Thank you for sharing them with us. It is, as always, an honour and a privilege to be able to view all of your hard work. And as I said last night, you guys are very, very generous in your support of me, and I really appreciate it, and we cannot do this without you, but it's Tale of Many Warhipsters is more about you guys than it is about me. And I just want to, I always like to take I think it's important to take a moment to celebrate the incredible achievements of the community, over and above myself. Because, without all of you, Tale of Many Warhipsters doesn't exist. It just becomes a tale of what I did this week. I'm still waiting for Bill the Pony to come back as doc so I can finish off my fellowship. Good old Bill the Pony. I've done a terrible job of building that. What are you building with Fellowship in the video, Josh? Assuming Bill. I was thinking of doing the Balin's Tomb stuff. So doing how to paint the Battle of Balin's Tomb, featuring the Fellowship of the Ring, Cave Troll, and some Moria Goblins. I kind of wanted to find the plinth that they did with the MESBG magazine, and I think I've got mine somewhere, and give it a strip down. And it would be really cool to do it again. The only slight problem with doing that as a video is that's one of those things of, I painted this thing which you can only buy now on eBay. If you see what I mean. At almost 11, my youngest daughter awoke, and by bringing her back to sleep, I fell asleep, so I overslept my own entry. Aw. Well, your entry was beautiful, Mini Painting Dad. As all your entries are beautiful. Yo, yo, Macaflow. Hello, Dudex. Get the Balrog. I can work on getting a Balrog. I need to find either one of the missing pieces of my Balrog or just buy another one. Small question, but I'm sure you answered already, but I missed it. What's the theme of this month? The theme of this month is maybe you're going to be the one that saves me. You have a Balrog that needs to be painted. Oh, really? Will you be painting the new Soulblight / Nighthaunt terrain in both schemes? I've done the Soulblight one. We'll have to hit an I don't know on getting hold of another set to do it as Nighthaunt. But I have done it as the Soulblight. That's already done. That video is on the way. Add Thorin's company, Goblin King, Hobo Goblins, and 3 Trolls. I see. So what you're saying is, I think I'm getting the gist here, that what you want me to do is paint every single MESBG miniature that's ever come out ever. Is that right? Just so we're on the same page. Ugh. Paint all of MESBG. Yeah, there you go. Well, I'll do my best. I thought about this the other day. I thought quite a funny... So I was thinking, like, if you were to engage in a mission to paint every model that Games Workshop currently sells, what would be last? Because something would have to be last. And I was like, do you paint the least popular thing last, or do you paint the most popular thing last? And I'd be curious to hear what you would believe. Includes Forge World resin or just GW proper stuff? Yep, all of it. Every model they've ever done. So you're going through the entire website. What's the last thing you do? How much to make you cry? Oh, I don't know. I'm an emotionally volatile person. It could be anything. I'm feeling pretty strong today, though. I'm building Knights of Dol Amroth. How could I not be? You know? Chaos Reaver Titan. That would be the last thing you would do. It's the final video. The Chaos Reaver Titan. I think it's a strong choice. That'd be a popular video to end on, as it were. Probably the sniper on stilts, not telling you if it's love or hate. I did do the that individual. I didn't hate it. Done. Let's see if he gets an alert. Oh wait, my phone's in airplane mode. Whoops! Okay, let's turn that off. Warning. Are you mad? That is a lot of money. Don't give my runner. Don't worry. I'm not going to. I promise. I nearly did it. I want MESBG and I'm willing to pay for it. You're willing to pay a lot of money for it. That is incredibly generous of you. Yeah, that'll do it. That will do it. That will do it. That is exceptionally generous. exceptionally generous of you. Thank you so much. I'm just gonna hide down here just for the moment. With a it was $5. $5 is a lot of money as well. Like, it's a lot of money to give to someone like me. So all hours of random. Someone like you is more valuable than you give yourself credit for. Oh, thank you. As everybody knows, I'm terrible at self-esteem. So... confidence is something that I lack around here. These are really good heads. I just said, well, what a sentence. These are really good heads. That's very cool. I've lost it now. I feel bashful. That's true. That's true. You're also not alone in that. That's why Tails is such a good thing. Done wonders for my confidence in my painting. Oh, that's very kind of you. That's why we do it, you know. That's why. Thank you very much, Captain Mannerings. Thank you. I really appreciate that, guys. Honestly, you make doing this job so easy. And like I was talking about it earlier today, about Tale of Many Warhipsters and how important it is, because it makes a positive impact to myself, and it makes a positive impact on the people who take part and enjoy it and find it as a great motivational tool. And for that reason, like, I want to try and make it like the most the simplest. What's the way I'm trying to say it? What's the way I want to be able to do it forever in a really easy format so that it continues to help and support this incredible community that helps and supports me. And when you when it's that kind of reciprocal nature, I think it just creates an incredibly strong community, and that's what ultimately I didn't realize that was where my channel was going to go, but it's where I know that I always want it to be, is a tool for community, and it's incredible. It's a truly remarkable thing, and I think it speaks to the incredible character of so many of you. And it's a real privilege to be able to run that project with you. I hope it's back on air. Have you done it again? Oh my god. Holy! That's what they say now. That's what the cool internet kids say. You really do want MESBG content. Well, trust me, there is an awful lot of it coming. It makes me feel good even though you are a bad liar about my minis. Love Hippo, how dare you. I mean every single thing I say on Tales. I'm not lying. Do you like to make him cry? No, it's a good thing. Warning. This is a name. End warning. You are an incredibly generous person. And I don't know how to deal with it. I'm sure I will. Cry your tears of joy, Josh. Yes. They're very humbling. I lie when I insult Josh's minis and call Dangel's chaos. Rez doesn't lie, though, when he insults my models. He means it every single time. He's very, very abusive. He's not. Just going to clarify that. Before anyone speaks ill of Mr. Reza Prime. I can still know I am a terrible painter, but because no one knows what my Discord name is. You're not a terrible painter. None of you are terrible painters. To me, you're all excellent painters. By the sheer act of doing it alone, it makes you an excellent painter. Because there are many, many millions of people who wouldn't even try. And that alone sets you above so many others. And then not only that, if you take part in Tale of Many Warhipsters, you have the courage to share that with us, which takes a strength. I know that because, you know, I'm a musician as well, and there's a lot of music I've written, a lot of songs I've written that I would never share because I'm too, not ashamed, but too nervous of how bad I think they are. You know, there's a lot of that kind of stuff that goes around, and I think having the courage to display a talent is a monumentous thing, and it's incredibly impressive and humbling to be a part of that, and that in and of itself takes strength. And believe me, like, I will periodically go through weeks where I will paint stuff and I will be completely unsure of whether or not it's any good. I will think my miniatures are utter garbage all the time. And I know some of you will go, oh, come off it. Like, you know, you always paint really well. But that's, you know, like, quality is in the eye of the beholder, as it were, right? And sometimes I'll paint something and I'll think, that's gone terribly and it looks awful. And I can't believe I'm about to put that out. I can't believe I'm about to send that out into the world. You know? Edward. That is an excellent correction. Well, too much love in here. Man, you were shit. And what did you think about Star Wars? Oh, that caught me at the right time. That's very funny. Thank you. That's the creative person's curse. You are always your own worst voice. Yeah, that's true. 100%. Did you paint Swamp Boss Scumdrek? No, I haven't done that one yet. I think the Sludge Raker Beast and that one are the only ones I haven't done now from the Cruel Boys. It's on the list. It's on the to-do list. Because a lot of people have asked for that one. Again, it's always time. Time is the thing I do not have in abundance. Hey, I killed a sprue. Lovely. Once you finish MESBG, then I'll start throwing money at you for Star Wars Legion stuff. Let me ask clearly, does that money help fund MESBG content, maybe a video or two? You know, 100% it does. Yes. No, it definitely does. Yeah. It does. 4 down. 2 to go. The other day I wanted to throw my Tyrannofax away because the gun looks crappy. Yeah, I mean, look, we all go through that. I've been through that myself very recently with the Cadians. I wanted to change the Cadians. I didn't think the Cadians looked great. The more and more I reflected on it, and so I filmed that process of updating them to a recipe that I actually liked a year and a half later. And I think that is ultimately one of the benefits of miniature painting, is that it's never ever final. It doesn't have to be it is all changeable. It's all easy to improve upon, and inspiration can hit you at any point. And it might be that later on you discover a technique that you go, oh, hey, this is really cool, and I think I can maybe do this on the Tyrannofax's gun, and that would make me happier, because it would mean I would correct a perception that I have about something that I did before. And that in and of itself is a really positive thing, and it's part of the journey, right? And it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Or the other way around, I'm not entirely sure. What's the difference in dollars earned with a low performing video and an average 40k video? What's a good comparison? I'll pull up my analytics in a second, and I'll be able to answer that question. Because there's a couple of tangible benefits, right? Is that so something like let me do this Knight of Dol Amroth. So when a video when a video doesn't do so well, so when it doesn't get very many views, what it then has a knock-on effect for other videos that you release afterwards. So essentially with YouTube, it's kind of like a rolling stone gathering moss. If you put out a really good video that lots of people click on and watch more than, like, say 30 seconds of it, then YouTube goes, okay, this is cool. We're going to send this out to more people. So we're going to surface this notification to more people. And the more people it sends it to, the more people view it. The more people who view it, the more people are likely to subscribe and to engage with the channel. Now, if you put a video out that doesn't do very well in amongst a bunch of those, what it goes is it confuses YouTube. YouTube goes, well, hold on. Wait a minute. This ain't great. So you can do what has happened in the last couple of weeks, which is you release a flurry of Emperor's Children videos, right? And you end up gaining, in like a monthly period, somewhere between, well, in my case, somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 new subscribers who come into the channel. And, you know, some of you might have discovered me through my Emperor's Children videos, and you're now here hanging out on the live stream. Perfect. Wonderful. Lovely to see you. If you then put out something that does really badly in comparison to that, then you have a month like the one I'm currently having, where your video doesn't get surfaced to all those extra people. It gets serviced only to your, people who are most active, right? So you end up with like a month like this one, like I said, where you're actually looking at only, you're only growing by about 1,200 subs. And so that's the first part of it. So when you do something that doesn't have a high enough engagement rate, it slows your growth. And if it slows your growth, it slows your views. And if it slows your views, it slows your revenue. And so it can have a rolling effect for the next couple of weeks if you don't back it up with something cool, or you don't recover. So if you have a series of videos in a row that are like 1.8 you know, what YouTube will do is it doesn't rank your videos, but it tells you what your most recent video did in comparison to the last 10. So it'll be like 1 out of 10, right? So, for example, the Malekith video that I put out the other day, is it's 9 out of 10. So in comparison to the previous 10 videos, it's 9 out of 10. So Contrast Plus versus Elden Ring, How to Paint Malekith the Black Blade, is a badly performing video at the same amount of hours in the first 3 days and 23 hours, in comparison to, above it, The Slaughterbound, Lucius the Eternal, Emperor's Children Demon Prince, Fulgrim and Friends Sprue Review, How to Paint Flawless Blades, How to Paint Alfarius, How to Paint Lord of Poxes, and How to Paint Fulgrim, Demon Primarch of Slaanesh. It's only beating How to Paint Lord Cacophonist, which is, you know, not done very well, generally. So my most recent video is the Soulblight Gravelords, Take to the Skies, and that is also a 9 out of 10 video in the first day and 23 hours. And again, it's competing against pretty much that same raft of videos, excluding one of the Emperor's Children videos. So if you then compare that to, if I just go and find, so we go view all. So we look at a video like, so in, yeah, okay, Fulgrim. So the Fulgrim video, as it stands, analytics-wise, I'm not sure if I can do it here. Oh, yeah, video performance. So Fulgrim video, as it stands right now, is 16.7 thousand views. It's been watched for 2.6 thousand hours. It's netted me 100 subscribers. And as a consequence, the revenue for that is about 150 quid. Near as damn it. So that's a really good video. If you then compare it to Frecker, let's say, which is a really poorly performing video. Where are you, Frecker? I always pick on Frecker. It's not fair on Frecker, but it's the one I remember most recently. Not doing so well. Where is Frecker? Yeah, there he is. So the Frecker video is a 10 out of 10 video. And in the first 73 days and 22 hours, it's had 1,300 views. Which is really poor. It's netted me -1 subscriber. And I've made £2 from it. How many weeks will it result in 100 quid? Or is it just a total it has earned you and it will slow down? That's the total that it said. It's not 100 quid per week. That's total ad revenue. Poor Frecker, what did he ever do to you, Warhipster? He tried to fight Helm. So if you make a playlist that auto-loads, I play them on my phone as I sleep. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah. So that's why you'll see the majority of content creators that do a bit more of a smorgasbord of content, like myself, who make painting content, they will generally tend to do a lot more 40k than they will do anything else, because 40k as you can see, like the difference between Fulgrim and Frecker is significant, in terms of like what it does for growth, what it does for views, and what it does for, you know, ultimately revenue as well. Um, uh, how much money do I have to donate to get us sponsored by for MESBG content? Yeah, you've pretty much done it. I can give you a slightly more realistic view, world view in that sense. So, like a sort of average 40k video, let's say Contrast plus How to Paint Imperial Fists Gravist Captain. That's a good one. So that's had 6,000 views since it was published, which is in the last 43 days and 22 hours. So it's already significantly more than Frecker. And it has netted me an extra 20 subscribers, and it's made 25 quid in ad revenue. And that's a poorly performing 40k video in comparison, right? Because that's also a 9 of 10. So that came out, that when I dropped that was 9 of 10. But the videos above it were it's how to paint purple in Emperor's Children in metallic or whatever it was. No, purple Emperor's Children, I think. 6.9. Goremongers at 7.4. The Threnodic Choir at 7.6. Glittering Myriad at 10.8. Constrictus at 12.3. Lord Exultant at 14,000. Fast Metallic Purple Emperor's Children 18.7. And How to Paint Tormentors / Infractors at 21.7. So that's the fascinating world of YouTube. But that's what I mean, right? So like, you can never know what like what's going to do really well, what's going to do really badly, but you can make informed guesses. So like a Demon Primarch that's brand new, that's generally going to just sort of have an advantage by being a Demon Primarch that's brand new, as it were. It's just gonna do quite well. Because it's a Demon Primarch and it's brand new. But then some stuff occasionally just sneaks up on you. You've no idea whether it's going to be good, whether it's going to be bad, whether or not anyone's going to care. Because I've talked about this before, but like my top videos are really strange. I'll tell you what they are of all time. Content, videos, views. So taking out how to use contrast paints properly and speed paint 2.0, Vallejo Express Color, and Citadel contrast paint, which one is right for me? Because those aren't painting videos; those are, you know, slightly different. My top painted videos are in this order, from first to last. Orc Commandos, Saurus Warriors, Black Templars, the Norn Emissary, Highfleet Leviathan Termagants, Lion L. Johnson, Primarch of the Dark Angels, that's the 40k variant, Be'lakor, the Dark Master, the New Demon Prince, Mortarion Demon Primarch of Nurgle, Pallid Hand Vectorum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then Angron, Demon Primarch of Khorne. And then below that, it's Bloodletters, Deathwing Knights, Contrast Plus versus Classic, How to Paint Dark Angels, Typhus, Herald of Nurgle, the Ultimate Contrast Plus Black Armor Guide, Croxagore, Leviathan Screamer Killer, Shadow Keepers, Cruel Boys Gut Rippers. And then Skaven Clan Rats, actually. They're in 20th place. And then, my 21st, barring those two at the top, most popular video of all time, Contrast Plus, How to Paint the Rohan Battle Host, now for Wrath, now for Ruin, and the Red Dawn. So that's why, with these videos, I'm like, how do I make them beefier? Because Rohan Battle Host is right up there. But that's great. Because also that's up there is Contrast Plus How to Paint Isengard Battle Host. That's down at a little bit further down. Where's the Rohan one? There, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th place. But I think you have to travel quite far to find the next MESBG one. Yeah, not in the top 60. Ah, there it is. In the top 90 videos on my channel, it's Contrast Plus How to Paint Faramir, Damrod, Madril, and the Forces of Gondor. And that was published on the 12th of December 2022. So that will be a 3-year-old video this year. So yeah. It's fascinating, isn't it? Need to start with the clickbaits. No! So what's the average video sponsor that makes it worth it? For me with sponsorships, it's not so much about money. It's more like if the product is worthy of being on the channel and they also don't mind me being truthful about it. There are a number of times where a product owner or a business will say, hey, we'd like to do this on your channel. And I will say to them, okay, but I'm not gonna, I'm gonna tell the truth about it. And then they say, okay, thanks. Which I think in that instance speaks to the confidence that they have in their product. Which at that point I'm like, cool, well, I'm glad I didn't do a video on that. Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, the problem with the Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship is it's very much focused on it's very much commission based. So those are successful if a bunch of you go and then install Raid and play it for 20 hours or whatever it is. I remember the lamp sponsors. Yeah. Yeah, serious readers. They make excellent lights, and I think if you can afford them, they are really, really important. And I use one in my setup. There's one up here that when it's later, I turn it on because it gives me a daylight bulb to sit back here and do work on, rather than having to be hunched over the desk. But it's really healthy for my eyes to do that. It's probably using that light that actually probably made my eyes better, to be honest. I I think a full Fellowship video would be well worth it, which may get people back into MESBG. I mean, yeah, it's entirely possible. And it's on the list of things to do, the Fellowship of the Ring. You may have already discussed it, but how did your 100 Marines do? It did really well. I won both my games. Not in a spectacular 100 points to, whatever ratio. But it did really well. 100 Space Marines won both my games. There were 2 really good games. Both my opponents were excellent. They were really, really fun. They had really cool lists. I was surprised. I was very lucky on some dice rolls. My first opponent had really, really cool CSM list, Creations of Bile list, that should have flattened me. But I got first turn, and then I rolled an obnoxious roll for my 10 Infernus Marines against my Oath of Moment target, which was 10 Possessed Marines. And he rolled terribly on his saves. And the game basically swung right there. Like, if I hadn't taken those 10 Possessed Marines down from 10 to 1, those Possessed Marines would have turned me into paste. Which is why I was like, yeah, they're priority number 1. And yeah, it was a very, very fun list. I figured out a way to make it even better. It's basically just to take the Terminators out and to throw in 2 Devastator squads, with probably 4 las cannons in each. And what I'm trying to figure out is a way to be able to throw 2 Razorbacks in there as well to transport the Devastator squads, so that it gets an extra 2 twin las cannons on the field as well. So that it will then have, instead of 10 Assault Terminators that drop down and don't really do anything, other than maybe get behind enemy lines, it having 2 Devastator squads just to be able to bring it down, basically, I think is a much better use of the army. Lord of the Rings' only issue is that it's got a nerd vibe that a lot of people love, but it's not as universally approachable as the Space Marines seem to be. It's not a bad thing, it's just naturally more niche. Yeah, Yeah. I also think it doesn't get as much support as 40k and AOS does, in the same way that it's constantly ever present. I think if you got an MESBG release a month, you would see a significant rise in the interest in the game. And the problem is it's very tied to the success of the Lord of the Rings, as it were. And because there isn't any Lord of the Rings stuff happening really all the time, that is of the same kind of monumental impact that the Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King had, and the Hobbit to a similar extent, but not quite as everlasting. It doesn't have that kind of ever-present thing in the public's brain. I think there's a couple of different factors that go into it, really. Because I think a lot of people will say, I did it a lot when I was a kid, it was the way I got in, and I'd love to go back to it, but they need to update the models. And they update the models really slowly. Like Warriors of Rohan, for example, just got a new plastic set of miniatures in aid of a animated film. And the first sets came out in 2003, 2004. So it's a 21-year-old model kit. So if that's the lead time on updates, it's difficult when it's stacking up against two core games in 40k and AOS that are getting new stuff every faction's getting these days. Every faction's getting new stuff every 3 years, whether it's just the book or it's models as well. Yes, they do also need to release the models. I think as well, if the high street stores had more of a Lord of the Rings presence like they used to when I was a kid, it would be significantly more popular. Because when I was younger, it used to have as much of a placing in Games Workshop stores as 40k and AOS did. At one point, there was more MESBG content in the shop than 40k content. Product, I should say. And that was a marvelous time. But it was riding the high of, like I said, it was riding the high of the films and their success. And I think they could do with being a little bit more engaged with releasing stuff for MESBG, given as they owe MESBG a lot from when it saved them, basically. Right, let's get some riders on some horses, shall we? One down! Woo! How would you add to MESBG without adding things outside of Tolkien's works? I think what you can do is you can there's a degree of you can be a little bit more. I think with MESBG you can be a little bit more limited in your release set, right? But I think places like Weta prove that you can do limited runs of things, and it will be very, very popular with the Lord of the Rings community. So I think if you can you can with MESBG you can create a lot more of a kind of collector's edition type sort of thing. So you can do stuff like produce the ambush at the ambush at Weathertop, for example. You could produce that as a set again, but update everything that's in there with new plastics as well as Weathertop itself, and people will buy it to build it and paint it. And you can market it towards people who want to be able to play with the miniatures in the war game, but also people who want to just purchase it in the same way that people like purchase busts and stuff. But like you can do the sets. Like you think of like when Games Workshop releases, they don't really do it at the moment. They've changed tack, which I'm glad they have, because I think sometimes those boxes are a little bit just a little bit crap, I think is the only nicest way you can say it. What I'm talking about is things like, and the only one I can think of at the moment is Arcane Cataclysm. So if you think of like that box when that came out, the Arcane Cataclysm box was the Lumineth Realm Lords versus Disciples of Tzeentch. And what it was a vehicle to sell the battle tomes, and then inside the box is the Cenarian Lightener, and there is the there was the Curseling as well, was in that box. And really, there's the two new models, and then there's a bunch of other army stuff. For MESBG, you can do this exact thing, but you can do it for a lot of different areas, right? You can redo all the plastics within it, which would be better, I think. And you can go, okay, today we're doing the upcoming is a really exciting box. It's going to be let's call it Balin's Tomb, for example, and you've redone the Fellowship, and you've redone the Moria Goblins, and you've redone the Cave Troll, and then that's a box, right? And that's a cool thing. You could do War in the North. Are you teasing the Armored Elves in plastic? What do you know? No, I know nothing. But you could sell. I mean, based on what they've done very recently with the new edition, you could sell those formations. You could sell Ride Out as a box with the new plastic Theoden in it. You redesign Legolas and Gimli on horse, and you put that in, and new Rohan Royal Guard, and have that in, and Aragorn on horse, and that's your new box. And you sell that as a thing. And that's an army out of the box that you can play with, and it's new miniatures. I wish the Battle Host... Yeah, the Battle Host boxes was a good concept. I wish it had been expanded. I agree. I agree. They only did the 4. So it would have been cool to see more of those. Fan base is definitely there. Like you said, one of your most popular videos is Rohan Battlehost, but the new film didn't do amazing, which may explain Frekka's low views, whereas Imagine, Aragorn, etc. Exactly. The film wasn't as widespread as it perhaps should have been. It wasn't marketed properly. It was done by New Line to keep the license, basically. And I really enjoyed the film. It took all of about 15 seconds to immediately be back in Middle-earth as I was watching it. I loved it. Because one of the things I was worried was I was like, it might not feel like I'm in Middle-earth in the same way that the Fellowship, Return of the King and Two Towers does. But War of the Rohirrim, it just immediately was like, yep, I'm there, and it did such a good did such a good job. Yeah. Battle hosts may get expanded. Problem was lots of factions had their elite or heroes in resin or metal, especially from The Hobbit. But now Bolg has a new plastic mini. We may see others follow suit. Yeah, I think that is also quite a compelling thing. There has very clearly been, from Games Workshop, there has been a effort, in 40k at least, for sure, to remove Finecast from what they make. And I suspect that is company-wide. I would guess that it's company-wide, and that's something they want to do, is to just get Finecast resin out and not have to make any of it ever again. So, yeah, I think there's a compelling case that it will all happen. The problem is we're all incredibly impatient, and we want to see it all happen right now, at once. I'm hopeful for some more sets. My wife and I enjoy playing with the box set, but want some different factions, and it's easier with two together. I wholeheartedly agree. Don't forget the films were 22 to 24 years old. I have co-workers that weren't born when the Fellowship of the Ring hit cinemas. Lord of the Rings is getting old for the current generation. I still feel like it only came out last week. I was 11 when the Fellowship came out, I think. When did the Fellowship come out? The Fellowship of the Ring. 2001. Yes, it was Christmas 2001. I was 11. I'd already read it at that point. Because in case, I think I hide it really well, but reading books was something that kept my brain quiet. So I read them very young. I read The Hobbit, and I was like, I want more of this. So I think my uncle gave me The Fellowship of the Ring, and then I read Two Towers and Return of the King, and then I read Silmarillion. I think I was 10 or 11 when I read Silmarillion, and I really didn't get on with it the first time. I didn't like it at all. I read it again when I was sort of 15, 16, and I understood it a lot more. I was 21 in 2001. Yeah, I was only a baby. I was born in 1990, after all. September 26th, 1990, that was me. That was when the legend of Warhipster began. 1988. It's a good strong year. You're not that much older than me. I've told this story before, and it will be the last story because I'm gonna end the stream in just a minute. But I've told this story before. But when the Fellowship of the Ring came out in cinema, my dad took myself and my older brother to go and see it at Gloucester Cinema in the Keys. Is where it used to be. It's not there anymore. Well, there is a cinema there, but it's not the same one. Anyway, I digress. My dad took us, and it was basically opening. It was basically opening night. And the cinema was completely booked. It was just full, the screening that we were going for. But there were 3 seats, and none of them were together. And so my dad was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, I was desperate to see it. Because obviously I'd read the book, so I was really, really excited. Really, really wanted to go and see it. And I was like, oh, come on, I want to watch it. And he's like, okay, fine. As long as it's okay. That you're sat on your own. I said, yeah, that's fine. So my dad and my brother go to these 2 seats that actually weren't far away from each other. They were 1 row behind, and I was plonked in one, which my dad could see. He didn't want me sat behind, so he had me there. I was plunked down here, and the film started, and all I remember from watching the film is the film. I didn't touch the food. I think popcorn or pick and mix or whatever it was. I didn't touch that. I drank some of my drink, but I just remember the film, the entire thing. My eyes did not stray from the film once, and I was completely transported to Middle Earth. It was watching a film of a book where it was exactly how you'd pictured it in your mind. It's the only time it's ever happened for me. Everyone just looked how I thought they looked in my head. It was magical. It was special. It was incredible. Anyway, as we were leaving, and I was watching the entire credits, just recovering from the whole thing. So it's an 11-year-old, right, watching all this, and my dad came down and goes, did you just ignore me? And I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, there was a spare seat up there. Somebody didn't turn up to watch it, and I came down to try and get your attention. And your brother came down to try and get your attention. And the people next to you tapped you on the shoulder to get your attention. But you just didn't. And I was like, no. I was just completely unaware of everything else. And like, I think that's the only time that's happened to me. Is watching The Fellowship of the Ring. That's the only time I've ever been so focused and so transported away from reality that I was there. I was in the film. I was transfixed, and it happened again for the Two Towers, and it happened again for the Return of the King. But those are the only films where I've never been more engrossed, and I love it. It will always have just the most special place in my heart, and that's why it's a real privilege to be able to build and paint Lord of the Rings models on a live stream for a job that I never knew I would have at that age. And if you could tell 11-year-old me now that that's what I would be doing, he would laugh in your face and run away and, probably play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater on his Game Boy. So what you're saying is more MESBG content. Yes! It will never not be on the channel. So have you answered this already at work? Any tips on how to paint a Troglodon? I posted pics on Tips and Tricks channel. Let me look it up very quickly, and then we're gonna go, because we've gone overboard a little bit on the stream. We're a little bit behind. Troglodon. Do you know, this is going to sound like a real cop-out answer, Vicious Goose, but I think you want to watch my Prince Vordry video when it comes out. Because the colours that are present there on the Troglodon are exactly the colours I would use. I have used for Prince Vordry. Is exactly how I would paint it, basically, looking at the picture. So yeah, I'm going to get the Prince Vordry video edited very soon. It might even be out tomorrow. So there will be a more intensive answer for you tomorrow, basically. But there you go. Anyway, I'm going to run now, guys. Thank you so much. Well, I mean, just thank you so much for just being incredible. I really enjoy what videos on what days this week. There will be a video tomorrow, probably Prince Vordry. We'll be live again on Wednesday. I don't know doing what yet. And then Thursday and Friday there will be Soul Blight Gravelords videos. Saturday might be a Soul Blight Gravelords video as well. Sunday might also be a Soul Blight Gravelords video. Because I've got a lot of them to put out. But yeah, there's videos basically every day this week. Wednesday, Progress on Elves live recording. Oh, I suppose we could do that on Wednesday, actually. Yeah. I'll have a think. I'll look at the I'll have a look at the schedule. Maybe we can do some more elves. We can actually film some of the elves. We'll see. Anyway, yeah. Thank you very, very much. I will see you all very soon tomorrow for a painting video. You are the best in the world, and you make my life much, much easier and much happier and complete. Thank you. Yeah, I will see you all very, very soon. Here is the hand of farewell. I shall wave it at you. Keep kicking ass, and I hope if I don't see you again this week, you have an incredible week. And I'll see you next week. Go buy MESBG minis. Okay, I'll go and see what I want. Bye for now. Love you, chat. See ya. Bye.